distress sigh. The edge of known space was silent, a place where stars felt far apart and old. The human warship Iron Resolve moved slowly through the dark, its engine slow and steady. Inside the bridge, every light was calm, every screen clear, and every crew member alert. Captain Rincade stood with his hands behind his back, watching the long black ocean ahead. He had fought in many battles, but this mission felt different. This region was avoided by most species, because nothing good ever happened here. Humans were sent anyway. They were always sent where others refused to go. A sharp sound cut through the quiet. Red symbols flashed across the main screen. An incoming signal had broken through the background. Noise of space. The communication officer leaned forward. Reading fast. "It is a distress call," she said, her voice tight. "It is from the Galactic Coalition fleet." That single sentence changed the mood on the bridge. The Coalition was made of many alien races. Proud and powerful, they almost never asked humans for help. "Source location," Rin asked. "Com, but focused, near the Carcess Rift," the officer replied. "Message is damaged, but clear enough." The audio played across the bridge. Static filled the air, mixed with shouting and alarms. Alien voices spoke in fear, not command. "This is Coalition Fleet Command," the message said. "We are under heavy attack. The Vaughn Collective has breached our lines." Several crew members exchanged looks. Everyone knew the name Vaughn. They were not just enemies. They were legends of destruction. The Vaughn Collective did not conquer worlds. They erased them. Whole species vanished after meeting the Vaughn. Rin's jaw tightened slightly. The Coalition had fleets 3 times the size of any human force in the area. If they were losing, then the situation was already terrible. The message continued, growing weaker. "Our defenses are failing. We request immediate backup." Then the signal ended. Silence returned to the bridge, heavier than before. For a moment, no one spoke. Every human on board understood what this call meant. If humans answered, there would be no turning back. The Coalition feared humans almost as much as they feared the Vaughn. Human warfare was different. It was not clean, not careful, and not forgiving. Rin walked to the command chair and turned to face his crew. "We have our orders," he said, steady and clear. "We answered the call. No one argued. No one hesitated. This was what they were trained for." The navigation officer prepared the jump. Coordinates. Engines began to rise in power. The ship vibrated with controlled force as Iron Resolve aligned for faster-than-light travel. Rin looked once more at the stars. He thought of Earth. Far behind them, he thought of the old stories aliens told about humans. They said humans were dangerous. They said humans were unpredictable. They said humans were monsters when pushed too far. Rin knew the truth was worse. Humans remembered every loss, and they never forgot a threat. "Jump," Rin ordered. Space folded around the ship. Lights stretched and vanished. Iron Resolve disappeared. Into the void, far ahead, the Coalition fleet was breaking. Alien ships were burning. And the Vaughn believed victory was already theirs. They did not yet know what was coming. They had called for backup, and the true monsters of the galaxy were on the way. The battle they could not WI on the Iron Resolve exited faster than light near the Carcess Rift. What appeared on the main screen made several crew members go silent. Space was filled with fire, wreckage, and broken ships drifting without control. The Galactic Coalition fleet was scattered and wounded. Large alien warships burned from the inside, their hulls torn open. Smaller ships tried to flee, but many never escaped. Energy beams crossed the void like angry lightning. Explosions flashed again and again. The battlefield looked less like a fight and more like an execution. At the center of the chaos moved the Vaughn Collective. Their ships were massive and dark, shaped like sharp blades and living bones. They advanced, slowly, without fear, without hesitation. "Coalition defenses are collapsing," the tactical officer reported. "Shield lines are failing across multiple sectors. Open channels filled the bridge with panic. Alien commanders shouted orders over each other. Some begged for help. Others cursed their fate." Rin watched in silence, studying every movement. He saw how the Vaughn ships ignored damage. He saw how they targeted command vessels first. The Vaughn fought like a force of nature. They did not rush. They did not retreat. A massive Coalition cruiser exploded near the screen. The blast shook nearby ships. Debris smashed into friendly hulls, causing even more damage. "Send our identification signal," Rin ordered. "Let them know we are here." The signal went out. Moments later, Stunned voices answered. Human vessel confirmed, one alien said. Disbelief clear in his tone. Relief spread across the coalition channels, but it was mixed with fear. Because humans arriving meant only one thing. The Vaan noticed the new arrival as well. One of their commanders opened a direct channel. Its voice was cold and mocking. So the humans have come, it said. You are too late. This battle already belongs to us. Rin leaned forward slightly. We did not come to win your battle, he replied calmly. We came to end it. The Vaan laughed. A harsh metallic sound. They moved several ships toward the Iron Resolve. Weapons charged with terrifying power. Multiple hostile locks detected. The tactical officer warned. Awaiting orders, Rin raised one hand, steady and confident. Hold fire, he said. Let them come closer. The crew obeyed without question. Alien observers watched. In confusion, no one waited when facing the Vaan. The enemy fleet closed the distance. Their weapons glowing brighter, their confidence unshaken. Inside the Iron Resolve, hidden systems awakened. Power flowed into weapons the galaxy had never seen. Human technology stayed silent until the perfect moment. Rin watched the distance numbers fall. His voice was calm when he finally spoke. Now, they understand, he said softly. The Vaan ships were close enough to die. Rin turned to his crew. All weapons, he ordered. Prepare to show them why humans fight last. Outside, the Vaan believed they faced one ship. They did not realize they were facing a warning. The storm was about to begin. When humans stopped holding Bicycatha, moment felt stretched, like the galaxy itself was holding its breath. Vaan ships moved closer to the Iron Resolve, their weapons fully charged and ready to fire. Alien observers watched in confusion as the human ship remained still. To the coalition, this looked like fear. To the Vaan, it looked like weakness. Both were wrong. Inside the Iron Resolve, power surged through hidden systems. Human technology woke up like a sleeping beast. Low sounds vibrated through the hull. As weapons came online, target locks confirmed. The tactical officer said, calm and focused. Enemy within optimal range. Rin Cade did not raise his voice. He did not rush his words. Begin, he said quietly. The first human weapon, fired without warning. Space twisted in front of the Iron Resolve. A deep gravity pulse slammed into the lead Vaan ship. The massive enemy cruiser did not explode. It collapsed. Its hull folded inward, crushed by invisible force. Coalition sensors went blind for a moment. Their systems struggled to understand. What they had just seen, a ship that survived entire fleets, was gone in seconds. Before the Vaan could react, the second strike came. Human rail cannons launched projectiles faster than thought. They tore through armor that was believed to be unbreakable. Vaan ships began to burn. Not slowly, not bravely, they burned in panic. Small human attack craft launched from the Iron Resolve. They were fast, sharp, and silent. They moved like predators that had waited too long. The Vaan tried to form defensive lines, but humans did not fight in lines. They fought in waves and traps. Human ships struck engines first, then weapons, then command corps. Coalition commanders watched with open disbelief. The humans were not trading fire. They were dismantling the enemy piece by piece. For the first time in recorded history, the Vaan began to retreat. Their signals changed tone. Fear replaced certainty. This is not possible, a Vaan officer shouted over open channels. Humans are only one species. Rin listened without emotion. One species is enough, he replied. A Vaan dread ship attempted to flee into the rift. Human strike craft chased it without mercy. They disabled its core and left it drifting, powerless. The battlefield shifted completely. Coalition ships stopped firing. They simply watched. The Vaan collective, once unstoppable, was breaking. Their formations collapsed. Their commanders argued and screamed. Rin stood tall on the bridge, eyes fixed on the screen. This is what happens, he said. When you push humanity too far, the Iron Resolve moved forward, not as a defender, but as an executioner. The galaxy was learning a new lesson. Humans did not arrive early. They arrived to finish things. And the Vaan now understood the truth. They had awakened something far worse than war. They had awakened humanity. The monsters they feared. The battlefield was no longer balanced. It was silent in places where fire once filled space. Broken Vaan ships drifted like dead giants. What remained of the Vaan collective tried to run. Engines burned hard as they turned away from the fight, but humans did not allow escape. To all strike teams, Rincade ordered, calm and cold. Begging pursuit, human attack craft spread out with perfect coordination. They cut off retreat paths. They forced the enemy into narrow zones of space. The Vaan broadcast frantic commands. Their voices cracked with panic. Their control was gone. A damaged Vaan flagship slowed, its systems failing. Human boarding pods launched toward it. They hit the hull with heavy force. Inside the enemy ship, darkness filled the corridors. Smoke and alarms mixed with screams. Then the humans arrived. Armored soldiers moved through the halls without fear. Their weapons were precise, their movements calm and practiced. The Vaan tried to resist, but resistance only made things worse. Humans advanced without mercy. Each room was cleared. Each command center silenced. Each threat ended. The Vaan commander opened a channel to the Iron Resolve. His voice was weak and desperate. "This is over," he said. "We surrender." Rin listened carefully. He looked at the burning battlefield on the screen. "At the destroyed Coalition ships, you surrendered too late," Rin replied. "You taught the galaxy what you are." The channel closed. Moments later, the Varan flagship exploded. Its end was final. The remaining Varan ships fled into deep space. They did not look back. They did not slow down. Human forces did not chase them far. The message had already been sent. The lesson was clear. Coalition fleets regrouped slowly. Alien crews stared at human ships with fear and respect. They had never seen war like this. Whispers spread across open channels. "They are not saviors," one alien said. "They are something else." Rin heard the words and accepted them. Humans were not gentle protectors. They were the answer to extinction. As the Iron Resolve powered down its weapons, silence returned. But it was a different silence now. One filled with understanding. The galaxy knew the truth at last. When humans were called, the monsters arrived. A galaxy REMMBR. The battle was over, but the impact had just begun. Wreckage floated slowly through space, silent and cold. Fires burned inside broken ships, lighting the dark like dying stars. The Galactic Coalition fleet gathered what remained of its forces. Damaged ships formed loose lines. Crews worked in silence, still shaken. Alien commanders opened channels to the Iron Resolve. Their voices were calm now, but heavy with emotion. Some spoke with gratitude, others with fear. "You saved us," one leader said. Rincade listened, but did not smile. "We did what was necessary," he replied. Across the fleet, humans repaired their ships with quiet focus. There were no cheers, no celebrations, for humans. This was not victory, it was duty. News of the battle spread faster than light. Trade routes carried the story. Deep space relays repeated it again and again. They spoke of the Vaan collective breaking. They spoke of ships crushed without explosions. They spoke of soldiers who did not hesitate. Soon, the story changed. It was no longer about the Vaan. It was about humans. Old fears returned to alien minds. Ancient warnings were remembered. Stories once dismissed as exaggeration felt real. Humans did not seek war, but when war came to them, they finished it. Rin stood alone on the bridge, watching the stars return to calm. The crew moved quietly around him, each one carrying the weight of what they had done. The Coalition sent one final message. It was short and respectful. "We will remember this." Rin nodded to himself. "That is enough," he said softly. The Iron Resolve turned away from the battlefield, its mission complete, its presence no longer needed. Far across the galaxy, enemies paused. They reconsidered their plans. They remembered what happened when backup was called. Humans returned to the shadows of space, not as heroes, not as legends, but as a warning. And from that day forward, when a distress call echoed through the stars, every species asked the same question. Should we really call the humans? Because if they came, the war would end, and nothing would ever be the same again. The warning that remained time passed. But the echoes of the battle did not fade. Across the galaxy, leaders studied reports again and again. Every detail of the human response was recorded and feared. Star systems once threatened by the Vaan grew quiet. Pirate fleets changed their routes. Warlords delayed their plans. The name humanity began to carry weight, not loud, not proud, heavy, in distant halls of power. Alien councils met in secret. They spoke carefully when humans were mentioned. No one laughed anymore. They did not demand territory. One elder said they did not ask for tribute, they simply ended the threat. That truth disturbed them more than violence. Because it meant humans fought for reasons deeper than gain. They fought for survival on Earth. The battle was not celebrated. There were no grand speeches, no monuments raised. The event was filed, studied, and archived. Another lesson learned, another line drawn. Rincaid submitted his final report in silence. He did not describe heroics. He described efficiency. Threat neutralized. The report ended. Future risk minimal. The Iron Resolve was repaired and reassigned. Its crew scattered to new missions. Its name already whispered in alien space, far beyond known charts. A damaged Vans signal drifted through the void. A warning meant for survivors. A memory burned into data and fear. Do not provoke the humans. Do not corner them. Do not make them choose. Because when they are forced to act, they do not stop halfway. They do not leave enemies behind. They do not need to conquer the galaxy. They only need to remind it. And so the stars remained quiet. Not because peace was strong, but because the warning was understood. If the galaxy ever forgot, if darkness rose again, another distress call would be made, and once more, humanity would answer.